Yeah, guys, I have Monika's photo. Pretty sinister looking photo, by the way. Monika looking back seductively and rejectively, and then somebody actually owning her or something and laughing at me that I will never, ever, ever, ever have Monika in my life. But hey, when God spoke to me, He really emphasized Monika is dead. And you need time and effort to create another Monika, basically. And besides, Monika herself was pretty garbage, but still, it's so weird because God says Pewdiepie is dead, Monika is dead, and they're still alive. They're living dead. Literally, the worst fucking thing you can think of is if that is real, if they are in fact working together, and basically the whole thing is real. I mean, holy shit! I didn't run ninja school just to beat real demons, but the, just to jump into some kind of island and realize, oh, ninja stuff is pretty real. Magic is pretty real. As long as you take it seriously, of course. As long as you take consideration in metaphors. And the whole story that I wrote, it's almost like a reminder to myself, but at the same time, I was just simply inspired by Naruto. The whole storytelling is now pretty significant because something like yin and yang, like, totally blows my mind how much information it stores in just one image. It can actually represent an entire religion. And that's my religion, basically, at this point. Just, if it had a symbol, it probably would be yin and yang. Let's begin. I'll set things up here. Alright, so I'll talk about the authority. Once again, it's the most important topic right now. It's the most important thing to me because, again, I have a personality that can not only very well understand what authority does, but also counter its effects on me specifically. So authority should be very, very scared, but at the same time, there is a possible huge mistake that I'm doing, and this is where I start the whole statement that I love lying to myself, but the lies are not like super deep, but they are deep enough to where I am lazy, I scratch myself, I do some stupid shit and don't know how to fix myself, but I mean, I have to lie to myself to basically survive, right? And explore things and try different things and hope that something works out because nobody else is giving me proper advice necessarily. It's possible that I don't listen to them, and I've sort of figured that out in those dark days that most of the time people are loving and caring, and they sort of hurt themselves because they don't listen to the person when the person, figures out that, oh shit, I have been loved, I have been supported this whole time, and they themselves will get into this self-destruction, I suppose. So it's worth a statement in this case. Yeah, so patience, right? That's what destroys most of the people. Is patience, understanding that as you support a person, the only thing left to do is to be patient. I think authority sort of understands how to be patient, but at the same time, when they're losing grip of someone, That is the last thing they want to be patient about. They want to. They actually expose themselves as "I want to spy on you" type of behavior, basically. I want to spy. I want to know everything about you and sort of control your life, essentially, in the end, or at least put your life in a position where it benefits the authority, basically. The next, well, again, I explain that I have a bunch of expectations, a bunch of hopes, a bunch of dreams. That's what makes my life fun, but at the same time unbearable, because nobody's there to really help me and support my dreams, and the dreams become bigger and bigger and bigger. It doesn't feel like I am capable of doing them myself, for as slow as I am going. But at the same time, I'm realizing that every single time I take a step forward, I learn so many things and everything accelerates. And again, you have all of this technology that will help you accelerate your life if you just set things straight, right? The technology will only listen to very careful code, but it will also allow you to make mistakes. So something like an AI apocalypse is not really possible unless you're really fucking stupid and you make a huge mistake and you had a lot of power to begin with, which is, again, it's a little bit stupid. And yeah, most of the time, what is more likely is that you're going to cause a bug that is going to kill you instead of other people. So the same way that I jump into bugs and I can't really fix them, and I hurt myself and I feel suicidal, and that also requires a statement. I've talked about this a little bit previously when I had problems with my engine. I still have problems with my engine, and I still will need to sort of adapt to the way of if I cannot go through a barrier quickly, type of behavior, I just have to go around. Only thing I need to do is just go around, create another lie to myself, create different sets of expectations, create a completely different strategy, because I cannot just go through it directly, and I would rather be still learning and going forward, and just again going around the problem. It's a very valuable lesson that for some reason I still cannot apply to my life that easily, and I would actually put this on a 3 question mark category, because it's just so difficult. I guess I would put it in episode triggers as well. Monika and Pewdiepie, they both represent authority. It's a bit of a jump in statements, but it's so important. When I realized that this meme of Monika and Pewdiepie singing about Monika is like the only song that he actually has. And it's like, what the fuck? Right? What are the chances? What are the coincidences? And not only that, Monika with a K. Oh yeah, that's also a thing. I mean, normally it's with the C, right? And this one was with a K. And it gets serious, man. And again, Pewdiepie represents authority. He's very high authority. And most importantly, as he's fighting T-Series, he really shows that he's desperate, basically, to maintain his authority. I mean, he cares. He cares a lot. And watching the latest Pewdiepie video is a bit kind of weird. He feels suicidal. He feels half dead. Like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Maybe he's recovering from... I don't know. It was so weird at those times when I was under attack and I'm just watching Pewdiepie, because like, wait, what? Anyways. So I think that's a very, very weird coincidence. And again, Monika is presented as authority, right? She controls the game. You know, we have the Doki Doki game, and Monika is like the authority of that game, and you literally have to delete that little shit to move on. And then you again have this meme of Monika being PewDiePie's manager. Alright, so moving on. Yeah, this is so hard to wrap my head around. So hard. Like, what the what are the chances? What are the coincidences? And at the same time, I always mention that high power people are most likely manipulators. Manipulative as hell. And they use other people. And PewDiePie is a pie that a lot of people will have to eat. Because their consent has been stolen. They have been ripped off. God said that Gurnex subscribes to everyone. Does PewDiePie subscribe to everyone? Well, he certainly suggests for you to subscribe to something like Oblivion Skits or something. Nerd City. I mean, he is keeping up with the trends, so this is somewhat conflicting. It's like it really is going to end up with what is going to happen when I expose PewDiePie. Maybe he doesn't give a fuck. Maybe he only cares about authority, and he's blinded by authority, and it sort of is required for you to put up a facade that you care about other people. So this is very interesting. This is why I have to ask how much PewDiePie cares about maintaining authority. Moving on, we have authorities running everything right now. They don't have to. Socialism. Socialism is, well, we live in anti-socialism, basically. But we still live in socialism. In socialism, that is sort of accumulating and building itself up. But at the same time, we live in anti-socialism because authorities are running everything and not people. Right? Again, let me repeat that. We live in socialism that is only building itself up, and we're still learning how to establish this social system. But until that happens, authorities are very important. They run everything because we don't actually have a better solution just yet, but at the same time, there is a threat, obviously, that every single time something runs everything and something tries to take over the entire world, we have a huge threat to deal with to make sure that we actually achieve the goals that we want to achieve. And I hope I'm speaking for everyone here, because I've already explained how this works, how socialism works, that you just do your own shit. You go into Facebook, you set up your own rules, you program your own shit, you learn how to program in the first place, and you don't even need authority to teach you that. You don't need schools to teach you that, because there are other people, there are friendships. Friendship is fucking magic in society, right? You just look what other people are doing, and you're learning, and you're asking questions. If they don't want to answer your questions, then, well, you're gonna get mad at them, and people should be scared when other people are mad at them. It's like there's such a beautiful system to be built, and self-sustaining system, because water is a self-sustaining structure, basically. But obviously, water wants to grow and turn into many different things. So Yeah, and you're made out of water. People bring that up as well. Let me put up a few statements again. So, okay, I put down some statements. It's actually friendship that is running everything, but it's a better version, it's unfinished, and it has, uh, again, authorities back in the day have rich corporations or whatever. Maybe even further back, what do you have? Factions or something? You have nations that run everything. And those nations, yeah, they have their own kings or whatever, but mostly nations is what mattered. Let's put it that way. Which nation do you belong? Right now, it doesn't matter which nation you belong. It's more like where do you work, who do you associate with, and again, what are your authorities? The authority cards matter the most, and how much authority do you have, right? Because what are your authorities only matter because how much authority do you give to other people, basically. That's kind of the point. If you're capable of sustaining yourself somehow without authorities, that is fucking magic. I cannot do that. I cannot do magic like this. And again, water, self-sustaining, you are water, but water mixes. This is why friendship is so important, because you're just inevitably going to mix with other people. You want that or not. You sort of will not be able to sustain like your own ego, your own identity necessarily. The same way that I felt as I was attacked, it's like, no, not November. You cannot be yourself in a way. It doesn't make sense for you to be yourself, because that will drive you crazy, basically, because you have no ability to share your emotions or whatever. Now, I can't help it because I am in fact myself, and everyone is themselves. Everyone has personalities. So this is not really like a solution. Again, water way of thinking is one way of thinking, but there's also this way of thinking actually works as the basis for everything, and it will work for all the personalities. It gets a bit complicated, but again, I say it's self-sustaining. The socialism will be a great start to just purify the world and move forward as humanity and discover some awesome things of what life could be in this place. What else? So yeah, of course, I talked about authority. So I have to mention that mistakes is a bad idea. When you deal with authority, that's what you're gonna get. That's the perspective that you get in schools, and this is the worst thing ever, basically. The schools don't teach you how to deal with relationships and find a job. The schools just create a propaganda of you should be afraid of making mistakes, and then making you believe in wrong things. And now that you believe in wrong things, for example, flat Earth, you believe in round Earth, you're afraid of making a mistake, so you'll actually reject to be open-minded at this point. Because but the schools taught me to not make mistakes, and the only way I don't make mistakes is listen to authorities. Like, nice. Can't you see this loophole right there of how you're being manipulated? If you're afraid of making mistakes, you're gonna listen to authority more, and that's exactly the agenda right now. So, as the last statement, it makes sense when making rigid contracts. Something that happened to me. What makes sense? Well, it makes sense to be afraid of making mistakes, there's one scenario where you really don't want to make a mistake, meaning that you're signing up a contract. It's either live or death type of situation, and you really don't want to give up anything that kills you, right? You don't want to give a power that sustains who you are, and you certainly want to consent in being yourself. Like, all these things are very important. So if you are pushed into a corner, try and dodge the bullets, try to extend time, but most of the time you have to know how to take that hit and survive, right? You have to know what are the worst things you can do and what are the most worst ways you can be manipulated, and it will happen fast, right? You will have to react fast and you have to survive fast. And yes, you might think you have a lot of time, but yeah, doubt is very important. Doubting yourself is very important, but this is where things get a little bit blurry again. Maybe left for the episode or something. And I have tons of stuff to work on, I suppose. I guess I have to review my videos. I have to start finishing up the whole school season. It's gonna be great. Thank you guys for watching. Poop.